So I just found out that you can do this pretty cool thing in Google where you can search for images and find similar or related images. And this is super helpful, especially for looking for stock photography to use on book covers, and also to make sure nobody else has used the same stock photography before you have. So I can go up here in Google, which looks like this because it's Thanksgiving, and I can search for images and search by image. And then I can just pick, if I've done a little bit of research and maybe I've found some pictures that I might want to use, I can just put it into Google and it will help me find similar images. But it can also show me if somebody else is already using the book as a cover, and it would show up pretty high in the search results. It would show up on Amazon if it was already on Amazon. So this particular picture is probably okay to use. And then I can look at the visually similar images and see a whole bunch of others that have, a girl in red, maybe the same style or period. But these wouldn't all be legal for me to use. I'd have to just look at the ones that are stock photography. I can use them to get ideas and to kind of brainstorm. But if you're just looking at images like this on Google, you can't just use anything. You have to make sure that you're getting it from a stock photography site. But it's a good way to kind of start off. And you should also be making a Pinterest board for your book where you put in a whole bunch of images that you're using for kind of inspiration or to get the right feeling. So this is another one. This is a book cover that I made for one of my books, and I can see already that this other book comes up from Tape Publishing. So someone else has already used it as a book cover. So I want to go on Amazon and search for that book to see how well it's doing, because actually it's not a big deal if somebody else is using the same image on a book cover, because most people aren't ever going to see it unless both of the books are selling really well in the same category, which is pretty rare. But in this case, this book, probably because the Kindle version is like $21, this book is ranked down at like 6 million. So nobody's really seeing this book anyway. So when my book comes out, it's not going to be a problem that it has the same stock photography. A lot of people will say, like, it's terrible that you see stock photography on a whole bunch of book covers, so you should avoid it, or you should try to think of something new or original. But actually, a really good stock photo that gets the right emotion is going to work better than most other options. And I'll show you another example, which is The Wild. This book is selling really well, even though I've seen this picture on at least half a dozen other book covers in the last couple of years. It's a really strong, really obvious picture. It's pretty, and it appeals to the target readers, which are kind of young adult romance fantasy. So it works very well. It's a very successful book cover. And the other books who use this cover or similar covers, they might not be selling well. So even if this is a really common picture, usually I say, like, avoid perfect stock photography that look totally awesome, because a whole bunch of books are going to use them. However, if it's really powerful, if it's a really strong image like this, it's going to work anyway. It's going to sell anyway. You'd only want to avoid it if there's another bestseller in your genre in the same category that's using the same cover. But since this one isn't, it's selling super well on Amazon. And right now there's no other covers. Like the other books, you wouldn't know that book cover has been used a lot unless you went into images in Google. And I should actually do that. You can go put that cover into Google like this, and you'll find a whole bunch of the other book covers that use the same image. But you want to do this with any image that you find that you might want to use, or any book cover that you've designed, just to make sure. You should really do it before you design the book cover. But you can also do it if you take some book covers you like and put them in. Here's another one that I did for Shearwater with a stock photography, and I can see someone else has already used this on Amazon. So the Amazon page comes up right away. And this is another book that's using the same picture, which is really obvious because it's a nice picture. But this book isn't selling that well, and it's not really in my... This is about the Titanic. So even if it was selling well, it wouldn't really show up in the same category as mine, so it's not actually a big deal. It's nice to know that it's there. It's pretty cool. I can use Google image search just to see what else is out there and see that someone else has used it, which is something you should do. But it's not actually a big deal unless you find a best-selling book in your category that's already doing well. Then you probably need to find a different image. But I can also look for other images that are kind of similar. If I want to just get design inspiration, or if I want to match kind of colors and style. So for example, this is another one I'm working on, and I don't see the immediate match on Amazon, but I can look at visually similar images, and I can kind of find a whole bunch of other books that have the same colors, a lot of dark, strong contrast. So it might help me to get some ideas or to see some arrangements that really work. Let me try to do one more. So here's one, for example. This is a best-selling book by another author that's a really nice cover. And so her books come up right away, her website comes up right away. But you can also go into similar images and find all this other stuff to kind of see what else you could use or what else you might like, especially to check like different fonts and different styles, but basically the same colors that you like. Here's one more I'll do. It's just a girl kind of in the trees in the forest. I was looking for something else, but I didn't see it. So this one you can see again, the Amazon link comes up right away. So I just searched for an image that I was thinking about using, and I can see someone else is already using it. But then I can look in the similar images and find other stuff. Some of the stuff is from deviantart.com, which is a great site for art, but you need to email the artist and see if anybody's used it before and if you can use it for a book cover. Sometimes you'll have to pay or offer to pay something. I usually offer $100 or $200 if I get something from DeviantArt. There's some great photography and stuff there too. But in this case, if I really want to use that original photo, there was only that one other book on Amazon and it wasn't selling that well, so I would just use it.